Welcome back to Yusuf Reacts. Today, we're diving into the world of vampires, werewolves, and forbidden love with the Twilight Saga. Breaking Dawn Part 1, the fourth installment in the Twilight franchise. Released in 2011, this film continues the epic tale of Bella Swan and Edward Cullen. Let's get into the details. Breaking Dawn Part 1 picks up right where Eclipse left off, with Bella Swan and Edward Cullen finally tying the knot. This movie, directed by Bill Condon, is known for its dramatic turn in the saga, marking a significant shift in tone and storyline. After the wedding, Bella and Edward head to their private island, Al Esm, for their honeymoon. The film explores the complexities of their newlywed life, and it's here that we see Bella's transformation from human to vampire start to unfold. One of the most controversial and pivotal plot points is Bella's unexpected pregnancy. The film delves into the dangers of the rapidly growing fetus and Bella's struggle to survive. This storyline brought a darker and more intense atmosphere to the series. Meanwhile, Jacob Black, played by Taylor Lautner, is grappling with his own emotional turmoil. The pregnancy forces him to make some difficult choices, and his storyline in this film provides a fresh perspective on the love triangle that has been central to the saga. The climax of the film is undeniably intensive birth scene. Bella's transformation into a vampire is both harrowing and dramatic, setting the stage for the next chapter in Breaking Dawn Part 2. It's a pivotal moment that leaves audiences on the edge of their seats. Breaking Dawn Part 1 is a visual spectacle with stunning cinematography and a haunting score. The film's blend of romance, horror, and fantasy makes it a unique entry in the Twilight Saga. With standout performances by Kristen Stewart, Robert Pattinson, and Taylor Lautner, and direction by Bill Condon, the film certainly made its mark. It's a love letter to fans who have followed Bella and Edward's journey from the beginning. The Quileutes close in on expecting parents Edward and Bella, whose unborn child poses a threat to the wolf pack and the townspeople of Forks. Bella and Edward celebrate their wedding, but after their honeymoon on Al Esm, things take a turn for the worse when Bella realizes she is pregnant. As the baby grows at an abnormally fast rate and causes many health problems. To Bella, Edward and the wolf pack fear that she may give birth to an immortal child. But the Cullens will do everything they can to ensure that both Bella and the unborn child remain safe. A joyous wedding falls upon both Bella and Edward as they bond before their friends and family. They take a beautiful honeymoon vacation to a private island and share their love for one another. Sometime later, their happiness is cut short when Bella is suddenly pregnant, growing at a fast pace. The unborn child seems to pose a dangerous threat to their friends and the townsfolk. The Quileutes begin to close in on the Cullens. Bella Swan, Kristen Stewart, is getting ready for her wedding. Jacob is livid hearing of their wedding and leaves the house, despite Billy trying to stop him. Meanwhile, Alice takes charge of the wedding itself and prepares Bella for it. Alice loves Bella like a sister. Edward tells Bella that for a few years after Carlisle created him, he went off on his own to hunt for human blood. But all the men he killed were monsters themselves and criminals. Edward says that he took human lives and says that he knows what he is capable of. That night, Bella has a nightmare that the Volturi are at her wedding. She and Edward are covered in blood, and they are standing on an altar made from the dead bodies of all their wedding guests. Bella's friends include Jessica Anna Kendrick, Mike Newton Michael Welch, Angela Weber Christian Serratos, and Eric Yorkie Justin Chon. The Cullens include Edward, Alice Ashley Green, Rosalie Nikki Reed, Jasper Jackson Rathbone, Carlisle Peter Fasinelli, Emmett Kellen Lutz, and Esma Elizabeth Reeser. The werewolves include Jacob, Sam Yulee Chase Spencer, Quill Tyson Houseman, Embry Kiowa Gordon, Leah Julia Jones. The only female werewolf, Seth Boo Boo Stewart, Jacob's friend and Leah's brother. Paul LaHote, Alex Meraz, and Jared Cameron Bronson Pelletier. Billy Blackgill Birmingham is a Quileute elder and Jacob's physically disabled father. Emily Tinsel Corey is Sam's fiancée. The wedding goes ahead and Charlie Billy Burke gives Bella away in presence of all the guests. And his ex-wife Renee Sarah Clark and her husband Phil Ty Olson. Also attending the wedding are the Denali Coven, who are cousins of the Cullens from Alaska. The Denali include Eleazar Christian Camargo, who has the ability to identify the special powers of other vampires. Carmen Ma Maestro, maid of Eleazar, Tanya Mayana Buring, leader of the Denali Coven, Kate Casey Labo, who has the ability to release an electric current over her body, and Irina Maggie Grace, whose lover Laurent was killed by the werewolves. Irina was shocked to see werewolves at the wedding and leaves. She fails to believe that Laurent tried to kill Bella. During the reception, Bella's best friend, Jacob Black Taylor Lautner, the werewolf, returns after hearing about Bella and Edward's Robert Pattinson engagement. While dancing with him in the woods, away from everyone else, Bella admits that she and Edward plan to consummate their marriage on their honeymoon while she's still human. Jacob becomes furious, knowing that Edward could easily kill Bella, and he runs off into the woods after the other wolves restrain him from hurting Edward. The couple travels through Rio and spends their honeymoon on Isle Esme, which was a gift from Carlisle. They travel at night to avoid sunlight. Edward invites Bella for a swim in the ocean. Bella prepares herself for sex by brushing her teeth and shaving her legs, but realizes that Alice did not pack her any normal clothes, only bikinis and negligees. Bella goes for the swim in her towel and loses it as she enters the water. They make love for the first time, and Edward destroys the bed and half the room. The next morning, he realizes that he bruised Bella during it, and is mad at himself for hurting her. Bella tries hard to explain to Edward that she is perfectly happy. From that point on, Edward gets very protective of Bella and treats her like a porcelain doll who will get damaged with his mere touch. They spend time playing chess, hiking, swimming, and any other activity except sex. Even the negligees packed by Alice could not entice Edward. 2 weeks into their honeymoon, Bella realizes that she is pregnant with a half-mortal, half-immortal child. As Bella finds about her pregnancy, she is also experiencing visions, which are previously only occurring to vampires. Meanwhile, Jacob tries to convince his tribe that Edward converting Bella is violating the treaty and hence should not be allowed to happen. Sam overrules Jacob and says that he is not in charge. Leah reminds Jacob that he did not imprint on Bella, and he would be better off if he imprinted on someone. Leah says that being any kind of happy is better than being miserable about someone you cannot have. Edward consults Carlisle, who only tells Edward to bring Bella back as soon as possible. The native tribal maid at Isle Esme knows that Edward is a vampire. Edward brings her to meet Bella when he finds that she is pregnant. Edward wants to know how to help Bella. The tribal maid touches Bella's belly and only says death. Edward is terrified by the news, knowing that she would not survive the delivery. He says that Carlisle Peter Fasinelli will remove the monster. Bella refuses, as she wants to keep the baby and needs the help of Edward's sister, Rosalie, who has always wanted a child, to protect her baby. They rush back home to Forks, Washington. She has only been pregnant for 2 weeks, but the baby is growing very fast. Jacob rushes over to the Cullens mansion and finds Bella already heavily pregnant. He is angry, saying that they should remove it as soon as possible. Bella says that it is her choice. Jacob is disgusted by this. Carlisle is not sure what the baby looks like or its DNA composition, as no ultrasound or needle is able to penetrate the embryonic sac. Alice says she is not able to see Bella's future anymore. Alice, Jasper, and Edward refer to the pregnancy as it. Only Rosalie considers the pregnancy to be a baby. Edward shares with Jacob in confidence that Carlisle can still turn Bella into a vampire to protect her, in case her heart fails during the process of childbirth. Edward accepts that if Bella dies, Jacob will have the right to kill him, as he considers himself responsible for the situation. Jacob tries to convince Bella, but she is convinced that she is having a baby boy. Jacob says that the baby is a vampire and thus a killer of humans. Jacob says that the baby would kill Bella and then everything they went through would have been for nothing. Jacob summons all his werewolf buddies from his tribe and wants their support to protect Bella at all costs. However, the leader of the tribe and the current alpha, Sam, wants to attack the Cullens, including Bella, to kill the abomination. Jacob refuses to bow down to Sam's orders and leaves the tribe. Seth joins Jacob knowing that he would have to fight against his brothers and sister in the tribe. Leah joins Jacob and Seth, more to protect Seth. Meanwhile, Bella is getting weaker as a result of this pregnancy. It is almost as if the baby is killing her from the inside. As Bella gets bigger, the quality of her health declines and she fractures her rib. Carlisle says that the fetus is not compatible with her body and is too strong. The fetus is not allowing Bella to get the nutrition she needs to sustain herself. At this rate, her heart will go out before she can deliver the baby. Edward tells Bella that he would not be able to tolerate the baby if it ends up killing Bella. Jacob theorizes that since the baby is part vampire, it might be thirsty for blood. Bella starts drinking human blood to satisfy the baby's thirst. Jacob warns the Cullens of the coming attack from Sam and his troops, and he appoints himself to protect Bella and Cullens from the attack from Sam. Sam sees Jacob protecting the Cullen residents and basically lays siege to the house, so that the Cullens are starved for blood. Edward comes to accept the baby as he reads its thoughts, learning that his child loves Bella in return and doesn't mean to hurt her. Meanwhile, the Cullens have used the last of their blood supply to feed Bella, and Carlisle tells Jacob that they need more to sustain Bella till the pregnancy. Carlisle and Esme ask for Jacob's help in hunting for blood. Jacob is surprised that the Cullens would risk their lives for Bella. To allow the Cullens to hunt, Jacob approaches Sam to make a deal. He offers to let Leah and Seth go back to the tribe and says that once the baby is born, he will be the one to kill it. But this was just a ploy for Jacob to distract Sam and the tribe, so the Cullens to go out and hunt for blood. Bella decides that if the baby is a boy, it will be named Edward Jacob or EJ. And if it is a girl, combining the names of their mothers, it will be named Renesmee. Soon after, Bella drops a cup of blood, and as she bends down to pick it up, the baby breaks her back. She almost dies giving birth. Edward and Jacob have to do the cesarean section as Carlisle was out hunting at the time. Rosalie could not help as she was sent into a frenzy with the smell of Bella's blood. As the baby starts to suffocate, Edward uses his own teeth to cut the cord. It's a baby girl, and according to Bella's instructions, she is named Renesmee Mackenzie Foy. Bella's heart stops beating after the baby is delivered. To save Bella's life, Edward injects Bella's heart with his venom to transform her into a vampire. But nothing seems to happen, and Bella is thought to be dead. Edward tries biting Bella all over her body to revive her, but nothing works. Greatly distraught, Jacob attempts to kill the baby, but stops when he has imprinted on the child. When the werewolves hear of Bella's death, they attack the Cullens' house in an attempt to kill the baby as they fear it's a threat. Edward, Alice and Jasper defend their home and their family, and are later helped by Carlisle, Esme, and Emmett, who return in the nick of time. Seth and Leah join the Cullens to fight the werewolves. Jacob then runs outside to stop the battle and shapeshifts. Edward reads Jacob's mind and announces that Jacob has imprinted on Renesmee, and since it is the wolves' law not to harm anyone who has been imprinted on, they are forced to leave. After Bella is cleaned and dressed, her cuts from her difficult labor heal as the venom spreads through her body. The last scene shows Bella awaken as a newborn vampire. The Volturi include leader Aro Michael Sheen and his brothers Caius Jamie Campbell Bower, a Volturi elder who is very strict about vampire laws, and Marcus Christopher Heyerdahl, a Volturi elder who has the gift of seeing the relationship connections between people, and include Jane Dakota Fanning, a guard of the Volturi who has the ability to torture people with illusions of pain, Valentina Olga Fonda, Volturi's human secretary, Alec Cameron Bright, Jane's brother who has the ability to cut off senses, Dimitri Charlie Bewley, a Volturi guard who is a gifted tracker, and Felix Daniel Cudmore, a Volturi guard who has supreme strength. Valentina announces the birth of Renesmee to the Volturi. Marcus and Caius believe that since Bella is now a vampire, the Vulture's feud with Cullens is now over. But Aro corrects them and says that the Cullens have something that he wants. So, what did you think of Breaking Dawn Part 1? Did it live up to your expectations? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.